Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to the Build Out Productions Thanksgiving Special. Joining me today is a cast from the Build Out Productions team. Let's start with some introductions. MJ, you want to kick off the introductions?
Sure. I'm MJ Callaway, and I am the creator of Bounce Up. And you can catch my live stream with Jim Kunkel on Thursdays at noon.
Very good. And Mike Lamont.
Hey, I'm Mike Lamont, and I've got a co-host with me, Heidi Brooks, and we host, what is the name, Heidi?
ENERGIZE.
ENERGIZE.
And when is it?
And it's coming up 1st of December, first part of December, we will be live.
But what time?
It's going to be 8 o'clock.
Eastern
time.
Every week. I'm really looking forward to that.
8 a.m. Yep.
Bright and early. Yep. Eleni.
Hello, I'm Eleni Anastos. I'm a business strategist and prosperity coach. And the live stream that I am blessed to do with Jim is called Finding Purpose. And we are on Tuesdays at noon Eastern.
Juan Caballero.
Hello, everybody. My name is Juan Caballero from Panama City, Panama. I'm very glad to be here today. I'm actually starting my broadcast about corrosion topics and paint topics from the industry. And I'm very glad to have joined recently, Build Out with this magnificent group. Well, I'm very glad to be here.
Part of the fellowship.
We're
and
glad
Heidi,
to have you.
Yeah, exactly. Heidi Brooks.
Hi, guys. I'm Heidi, and I am a co-host, as we just said, with Mike on this new upcoming special weekly broadcast called ENERGIZE.
And when is it?
First week of December, but most importantly, morning time, so 8 a.m. Eastern.
So when we look at Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving really is thankfulness, which is key to business health. We're all thankful. I'm thankful for all of you and the opportunity to work with you. And I forgot to mention, joining us also in spirit is Sam Navarro. He's going to be the host of Be Local, which is also going to be a live stream series that will focus on local businesses and other providers in the Houston metro area. So, Sam, I wish you could be here right now, but we're thinking of you and we appreciate your support. So when we talk about thankfulness and we look at gratitude, gratitude can really transform common days into Thanksgiving. And it can also take routine jobs and change them into joy and opportunities into blessing. What are some of the things that you all are thankful for? MJ, we'll start with you.
I would say first off, top of my head is definitely life. Going through 2 cancer diagnoses, life is definitely something I am so thankful for. And I take that spirit of thankfulness and just being aware of every single moment of the day, making the best of it. That's what I try to bring to my clients whenever I'm with them and whenever I'm conversing with them, is give them that spirit to show them how to do it and be thankful for what they do have and find a way to flip every situation.
And Mike?
Wow, there's so much to be thankful for. I feel like I could go on and on and on, but I think with respect to my professional career, certainly all the folks that supported me, continue to support me, that I work with, they've been a huge influence on my success and my continued desire to be the best that I can be. So I got to say the people, it's the people I got are definitely huge in my professional success.
What about a certain 4-legged family member?
Yeah, well, and she's with she's sleeping, but she'll probably be up here in a little bit. We might be able to get her on the broadcast.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Eleni?
I am absolutely grateful every day I wake up, and gratitude for my health and gratitude for being able to connect with people and be of service to people. I know that I was born with that servant's heart, and it's so gratifying to know that you can lift a spirit. So kind of echoing a little bit of what MJ was sharing. I'm sure we're like-minded where that's concerned. And one of my favorite quotes, and I don't know who the author is, but it's not mine, so I'm not going to own it. But it's, if the whole world gathered to give, everyone would receive. If the whole world gathered to receive, no one would get anything. So I'm grateful to be able to give, because I think in giving, we are all enriched that much more.
So true. So true. Juan, you're coming from Panama. What are you thankful for in Panama?
Well, very similar to my colleagues and friends here. I'm very thankful about being living, about life, about family, about friends, about fears. But I think among everything, what made me more happy and thankful in life is to be able to be of some value to others and to the industry. And always pursue like giving your best without asking for anything in return, and life will pay you back with, don't wait like to receive some payments. Not everything is like money, So I think that when you receive the gratitude of a friend or family or any peer that you have helped them really to get over some troubles or some projects in the professional area, that's really priceless. So I'm very, very thankful again, as I said at the beginning, to be here and sharing these passionate ideas with you.
That is so wonderful. And Hiedi.
I am also grateful for so many things, and one is God. Very grateful for God and my children's health and kindness to others and their good-hearted spirit. For all of you, very, very grateful. I've been inspired by each and every one of you. I appreciate your support professionally on streams. Jim, I'm very grateful for our professional relationship and these creative things that you began many years ago, but we began doing, not to take away your credit, but I mean, we began doing. I'm very grateful for you and what we began doing early on in 2021. I'm very grateful for my position at VCP Sales, my boss, my good friends, and grateful to be here.
Yeah, for me, I'm grateful for all of you, friends and family, and also being healthy and happy and rediscovering myself and reinventing myself and being a communicator. I really enjoy talking with everyone, and it's so great to spend time with all of you and to also see what all of you are accomplishing. And just being part of that and being part of a team, part of a fellowship is so critical to me. But we want to be more grateful to those that make us happy. And we want to be open-handed to those who we disagree. And we don't want to be divided, because we're all human and we can all reinvent ourselves. Eleni, you talk a lot about the reinvention, and you and I have had many discussions regarding reinvention. How powerful is reinvention? And Thanksgiving, is that a good opportunity holiday for reinvention as we're approaching the end of 2021?
Well, I absolutely believe in the power of reinvention, and especially 2020 and 2021 have shown us that change is inevitable. And reinvention to me is a vital part of navigating that change to move forward. For some of us, for me personally, it was a huge traumatic event that turned my world upside down. But sometimes it's the seemingly small, what may appear to be an insignificant moment in life where you can make the choice. I need to do something differently. I need to move forward in my life in a different direction. So you can make a decision at any point in time that could change your life on a dime for the better. And to me, that's what reinvention is all about, because we're constantly evolving, or we should be. I know I want to be constantly evolving and learning and having that growth mindset. and it goes hand in hand with reinventing yourself. And Thanksgiving, when you're so grateful or focusing on the gratitude of everything that you do have, I think it's the ideal time because when we're grateful for what already exists, I believe we open the door for more to come to us. So if there's something else that you want to be, do, or have, be grateful for what already exists, but keep that door open to allow the others to come into your life.
That is so beautiful. And MJ, as a cancer survivor, Thanksgiving probably has a strong meaning for you when it comes to friend, family, and celebrating life. What advice do you have to anyone who might be watching right now who's going through some really bad times, or maybe they're fighting an illness or some type of adversity?
And I'll go to what Heidi said earlier, definitely rely on your faith. She had mentioned God, rely on your faith. The power of prayer is so crucial whenever you're going through a life-altering disease. The other thing is to look at, one of the things that the doctors had said to me and the surgeons had said to me was, my attitude helped because it was a positive attitude. It helped in the healing process and going through all the treatments. And because I went through 15 months of chemo the first time and 30 sessions of radiation, I always went with the thought that every single treatment was a date with my future self. And I went dressed like that. And I was so thankful for my family, definitely. My support team, I had a support team, very close, power of prayer, my prayer warriors, and my medical team. I looked at them as they were part of my power team. It was a two-way street between the two of us. So that every single day being grateful. And what I would do at the end of every day, and some days, Jim, the rest of the team here, some days were not good days. The treatment was pretty intense. In fact, at one point, the doctors had said that they didn't give that treatment to most people because they wouldn't make it. But every single day, at the end of the day, I would write down 3 things, whether it was something that made me smile, something I was blessed for, or something I was grateful for. And I posted a sheet of paper on my bathroom mirror, and every single night, I wrote down 3 things. And I believe that gratitude, it keeps you moving. It keeps you moving forward.
Wow, what an inspiration and great advice for anyone who's going through any type of challenges or adversity. Heidi, you pay me a lot of compliment, and I do appreciate it. I know it's very sincere, but you are amazing to me because of what you do, and you inspired me really to become a better broadcaster. And I probably would not be doing this today, and we might not all be together as a family or as a team right now if it wasn't really for you motivating me. And I appreciate that. What advice do you have when it comes to individuals that are looking at sticking with goals or accomplishing some type of a feat that they need to accomplish?
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Jim. That means a lot to me. And like we've said throughout this, we weren't sure where we were going or what individual goals or what we were going to get out of it, if anything. But we knew we wanted to continue, and you inspired me as well, continuing a lot of things. It's important to continue to keep going. It's important to remember the goals that you set at the beginning and what you were feeling at the beginning, and know that you set those goals for a reason. So when things change or emotions change, you go back to that day that you realized, I need to, pursue this goal. And remember that you knew what you were doing at that time. You were sane, you were inspired, and to continue to pursue that. One thing that I am extremely grateful for this year is my family and I suffered a few blows, and they kind of took my breath away, or could have made me extremely anxious. I think through prayer and believing in yourself, I realized this could be so detrimental to me in a different phase of my life. And I could have jumped on a negative or cynical bandwagon of why did this happen? But because it was so halting, I realized this truly is, and this is not supernatural, but this is an opportunity for change. And for the first time in my life, when something negative happened, I am still going through it. But I mean, I was like, I could step outside of myself. And that truly came from believing in myself and believing in my purpose, personally and professionally. What I don't recall exactly what inspired me at that moment, but it was really positive, and it's kept me going through some of the things that my family and I have had to navigate over the last year. And it was truly uplifting and inspirational. So continuing to pursue the original goal that you set is very important. And I think that could keep you going.
Thank you. Again, thank you so much for everything you've done for me, Heidi. I really greatly appreciate it. You and I are
I don't know why.
Very, very good friends. Yes.
Thank you.
There was a purpose, as I said right when we first started talking. There was a purpose for us meeting each other, even though we didn't meet. We met each other virtually, not face to face. But we did get to do that last month. We did finally get to meet face to face after what over a year of talking with each other.
Yes. Well, talking on camera.
Exactly.
It wasn't even like talking on, we were just talking on, we would jump on live, and it was, it's only the beginning.
Only the beginning. Very good. Juan, you and I have been friends for almost 7 years now. And when we first met, we literally had a strong connection. And you and I have kept so close that most people consider us brothers in the industry that we work in. What is the power of friendship to you?
Okay, I think the power of friendship is one of the most valuable powers because when you become friends, really friends with somebody, I think that everything is possible. I think it's a good example, what you mentioned, that when we met like so many years ago, we just chat over a dinner table, and we put some ideas together, and we set like a goal, like, okay, we can do this maybe in 5 years. And after 2 years, we were laughing in some part of Latin America, remembering when we first met, and so many things that we accomplished. And I think that a lot of what was behind those accomplishments was because we became really friends and brothers in the industry. So I think without that, maybe we have not achieved even a 10% of we achieve in such a short time. So I think in every relation, even with your husband and wife, you need to be friends, because if there's no such friendship, I think that it will become more difficult, and with your peers, with your office colleagues. I think that I have experienced that most of my friends have become from the industry. So I have friends now all over the world, and that's, again, priceless to have so many friends around. And I think that with friendship, everything is possible.
Everything is possible, and you and I will be brothers for the rest of our lives. So I'm so happy to have met you and to know you and your family too. They're important in my life as well. Mike, let's talk about confidence. The one thing, since I've known you, you are a very confident person. Let's talk about confidence. How important is confidence when it comes to, when we're thinking of Thanksgiving, or we're thinking of, friends and family?
Wow. That's a wonderful question, Jim. I think if there's one thing that we can instill in others, and that's what it's all about. If we're not building up others, we're not making other people better, then what are we doing here, right? And if there's one thing that we can instill in others is what you believe they're capable of. And oftentimes we see things in other people that they don't even have a clue that they can do. And by building them up and saying, look, here's what I think, here's where I see you going, you give them a platform from which they can really excel. And that's just a wonderful thing. Now me personally, confidence is it's something that's inside you that hey, I can handle any difficult situation that comes up. And I have it because people built me up. And so being able to pass that along to family, friends, colleagues, all of you is just amazing. And that's what it's all about. If you're not making other people better, then you're just wasting your time.
So true. Giving yourself to others, and really the golden rule for me is so critical and so important. So now that we talked about really happy things and warm and fuzzy things, let's talk about typically what I think typically happens in most families, happens in my family. We get together for holidays and arguments start to ensue. And so what I want to talk about now are some ways to steer clear the conversation so everyone is happy on Thanksgiving. You don't have to tell me, but any of you encountered any type of adversity when it comes to holiday dinners, especially Thanksgiving? No?
That never happens, Jim.
It doesn't happen to you? Not with my immediate family now, but with on the Kunkel side of the family, my side of the family, usually the greatest battles happen during the holidays.
Yeah. So I would say avoid political conversations.
Yeah.
That is something that typically people feel very strongly about politics, and it becomes very emotional, and it can become very charged very quickly. So I would say that's right up there at the top of the list to avoid. And I call it taking the bait. Sometimes people will bait you into a conversation, and you don't need to always take the bait, right? So be mindful of that.
And the other thing to throw out there is if the bait is thrown out there, wait to respond. And typically in sales, you're taught, he who speaks first loses. And it's best sometimes to just wait to respond and measure that response so you don't create a bigger battle or bigger problem when it comes to relationships with your friends or your families if you're getting into those discussions. Anyone else have any other recommendations?
I feel like I put on a proverbial suit of Teflon. When someone's trying to throw the shit at me or you bait me, the term you're using, you're not going to get me. You're not going to trigger me. And I'm always redirecting. So I let it slide off like Teflon. It doesn't stick to me. And I always redirect to a common ground.
Yeah.
That is positive for both sides.
Do you ever bring a distraction? You throw something and say, "What's that?" Because that's actually a useful tip as well. Use humor. I have bad dad joke humor, so a lot of times, I would use humor, and it's really bad. So most people would agree, during that discussion that I am not that great at humor, and at least that creates a common bond between the combatants.
I think you're pretty funny, Jim. I don't know where that's coming from.
I would add that, I would add two more things. One, not drink too much alcohol. I think alcohol or other stimulants can infuse a family situation. A lot of people, not that it's normal, but a lot of people do tend to, or at risk of drinking more because being around family and under pressure does pose using alcohol as a crutch. So being mindful of that. If you can't, don't drink at all. Second thing would be to, prior to the dinner, write a gratitude list then that morning of what you're grateful for, what you're looking forward to seeing, and focusing on those things when someone cynical brings up a topic that you'd like to respond to. I know justice for me is always the justice system, or homeless, or children, abused or neglected children, or anything with the justice system is always a hot topic for me. So I appreciate writing a gratitude list prior so that I can focus on the positive versus the negative, and like Eleni said, deflect, or not deflect, but diffuse.
Right.
I have one more I would like to add. So I started off with, today is a good news day.
Mhm.
Everything has to be positive. And if there's a complaint, you write it down and you put it in the complaint box. That's just the rule. So, and it does work.
That's
And if
beautiful.
somebody decides to go off, I'm like, nope, it's a good news day. Put it in the complaint box.
Sure.
Yeah,
So that has worked. I did that once too, a job that in a position, everybody was so negative, and I'm like, nope, this is my happy shield. It's good news only.
yeah, kind of remain drama free if possible, or drama light. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Something that I would like to add as well, maybe coming from Latino culture, kind of every family meetings or friends meetings in Latin America, even if it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, or a birthday party, they are pretty similar, because all start with a table of food, some liquor, then the radio comes on, and everybody start to dance all night long.
Perfect.
So it's pretty common in Latin America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sounds like one I want to be at.
Me too.
Next Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
Juan, you're having us all over, right?
Yeah, you're very welcome to come to Latin America, enjoy a party together.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Absolutely.
kind of relates to be authentic. If you go into Latin America, do like the Latin Americans do. And in Panama, I could definitely attest to very strong in celebration, very powerful in family and relationships and everything that focuses on friendship. And I think that's, Juan, back to why you and I hit it off so well, is that we had that strong connection because of our friendship. So let's talk. Hiedi had used the word gratitude, and MJ, I'm going to start with you because you have content that has come out, broadcasts came out regarding gratitude. Gratitude creates more success, happiness, and peace. How powerful is gratitude for everyone?
So there's one statistic that I talked about in my broadcast that will be on Thursday. So 70% of employees feel they would feel better about themselves if their boss was more grateful. So think about that. Talk about an unbelievable statistic, but 70% of employees would feel better about themselves. So that's going back to what Mike said about confidence and building people up.
Sure.
And then the other one is 81% of employees said that they would work harder if their boss was more grateful for what they did.
Yeah.
So in the workplace alone, statistics like that are proven how important gratitude is. It should be a daily practice, something that starts from the top all the way down daily. If we can improve not only the way that our employees feel, but also improve our productivity by being grateful. Thank you, a thank you to them. I so appreciate what you did today, and giving them grace. And I'll use an example here of giving grace. My operations manager, she hit publish instead of schedule. I wanted to make sure I get the two things right. So all my social posts went out on Monday rather than tomorrow. And she said, do you want me to cancel? Do you want me to start over? And I said, oh my goodness, no. I said, if that's the worst thing that happens to us, we're having a great day. And she said, thank you so much for that grace. And I never really thought about the word grace until she mentioned that. But if we could all give more grace, because then that comes back to gratitude too. Imagine how much happier the workplace would be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love the word grace. That's a great word that doesn't get thrown out there a lot.
It's very powerful. Very powerful. Anyone else on gratitude?
Yes. For me, with gratitude especially, you have to be all in, 100% all in. And somebody recently reached out to me and said, will you talk about living a life of gratitude and being focused on gratitude? And they knew about a very traumatic experience I went through that turned my world upside down. They said, oh, you're grateful that happened. You're grateful for the betrayal. I said, no, I'm not grateful I was hurt. I'm not grateful I was betrayed, but I'm grateful I had the resilience to move through it. I'm grateful I had the strength. I'm grateful I didn't quit on myself. So to me, it's about being all in with gratitude. And as long as you're breathing, there's something to be grateful for.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes,
So-
I would like to comment my
Sure.
kind of my own experience. Being from a background of when I was studying high school, I came from a science bachelor, and then I studied like an engineer, and I kind of consider myself for some part of my life like a little bit skeptical things, but as the pandemic hits, most of us have like a time to slow down a little bit, start to think better about the important things in life. And I have experienced that being grateful and having gratitude for everything you have really start make things flowing for me a little bit different. So I consider this is very important. That
Juan,
you need to be gratitude for everything. Yeah.
you are so right on, because I am I'm innately cynical. I was a very cynical teenager. And by teenager, I lived on my own at 16. So I was basically an adult. So that gravitated into my adulthood. I think when I became a mother is when you have to choose to be grateful. You can't just expect that it's going to come free flowing. I know that I grew up cynical. I had seen some things that had shook my faith a little bit, but once I choose, and I also know I'm very good at heart. So I know if I make that choice to be grateful, like you had said, you were skeptical at some things, and it's the same thing. And it's in all of us. We're choosing. I had a friend that I grew up with that I was friends with for many, many years until recently. And it was almost like, I always felt like she had a love-hate relationship with me. And I had heard that she had told one of our mutual friends that I was fake. And I feel like I'm very authentic. I am far from fake. If I make things look easy, it's because I'm choosing to do so. And I just feel that it's very important to admit or to tell others, you're choosing this. So not you per se, but just all of us. We make a conscious decision to be grateful. No one life is perfect. And there's, and it doesn't matter how much money, what background you come from, any of that. We all will experience tough things at some point in our lives. And sometimes it's back to back to back. We choose to be grateful. And that's very important that others know that, so they don't feel like something's wrong if gratefulness is not spewing out of them. I made a conscious decision. I still do. Most of the time it comes easy.
Yeah.
Recently on a Build Out Brief broadcast, I had Brandon Eastman on, and we were talking about positive thinking, but we're also talking about emotions. And he pointed out that one of the lacking elements of school was that emotions are not really covered. And we got on the topic of emotional intelligence. And when we're really looking at emotions, emotions, if they go off the rail, it can really lead to negative outcomes. and very destructive situations. And he pointed out when you're dealing with stress situations, or you might have certain behaviors that are very destructive. Emotions really are strong during holiday celebrations and seasons.
Mm-hmm.
How can any advice that you have, anyone here on the panel have, when it comes to dealing with emotions, how to channel emotions into a positive versus going on a negative, destructive trend?
Don't try to resist it.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't feel this way. I'm going to push it out, because what we resist is going to persist.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Going back, because I use the word grace a lot, especially I've needed to towards myself, because of course, being my own worst critic. So don't resist it. Just try to accept yourself, saying you have the right to feel that way. It's okay to feel that way, and then neutralize it. Because if you keep, I shouldn't feel this way, I don't want to feel this way, you keep resisting it, that just adds, fuel to the fire. So have grace with yourself that, no, it's okay that you feel that way. And then you can neutralize it, because once we're in a neutral place, then we can go back to the positive side and move forward.
Yes, I think that in the line what Hiedi mentioned a few minutes ago, I think that in order to deal well with emotions, you have to first know that you are here for some reason. Mm-hmm. All of us are here for some reason. And the first thing is that you feel comfortable, that you feel happy with the what life gives to you. And then all of this will lead to you to take the emotions in a positive way. Because if you are not happy with yourself, anything that will happen to you that may be good for Mike, may be good for Jim, for Eleni, for Hiedi, for MJ. But if I'm not happy, it may be bad for me. So I will react in a bad way. So I think the first thing is to realize that you are here for a purpose in life, and be happy with what you have, who are you, and then you will be able to deal better with emotions.
Well said.
Mm-hmm.
Very well said, yes.
Well
Definitely.
said. We're getting to the end here of our Thanksgiving Day special, and I appreciate all of you on the panel and on the team and part of the fellowship joining me to celebrate Thanksgiving, and for the viewers out there for watching this. And I just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Before we would end this broadcast, any final thoughts from any of you to the viewers?
Yeah, wow. I mean, what an incredible group that we have, Jim, and with such wonderful perspectives and insights. I'm thankful to be able to work with you and be associated with you. You all are great. So thank you to all of you. And I think that again, it's the saying that 10% of life is what happens, and 90% of it is how we react to it. And I remind myself of that a lot, and if we can just kind of carry that into the holidays, and the holidays can be incredibly stressful. One of the things I'd say is try to slow things down. If you find yourself getting overwhelmed, break the timeline. Instead of, I got to think about, Christmas and New Year's. I got to get through today. What are the things that I can do to affect today? And slow time down a little bit and take the time for yourself, because again, if you're not happy, then it's hard to influence others to be happy and take care of themselves.
Take the time for yourself. I love that.
One other thing to mention would be, I want to remind everyone to volunteer. When any time in my life that I've been going through something really heavy, giving to others or supporting others or volunteering for an agency really puts things in perspectives or allows us to slow down, like Mike said. So volunteering this season or upcoming season, donating, however you can contribute, I invite everyone to contribute. And thank you to all of you no matter how small, that support us on these live streams. Because Jim,
Oh,
you
yeah.
put a lot of time into this, and so do we. And we do this for fellowship with each other, but very much so for the viewers. So thank you for your support. It means the world.
I will echo that.
Me too. On Mike, on Heidi, on Jim. I agree.
So thank you all for spending this time with us all. We appreciate you and look forward to the rest of this year and going into the new year. And I believe all of us. There she is.
There she is.
Let's get her thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, how big? How old now, Mike?
Yeah. She's a year.
1 year.
1 year.
Hi.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Her name's Winnie.
Her
I love
name-
your eyes.
You woke me up for this?
Oh, she's smiling.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
guys.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Happy
A lot of
Thanksgiving.
fun.
Bye-bye.